it's time for Real Her Revelations. Welcome to this week's episode. Super thrilled, as always, to talk to you. And wanted to come to you today with my brand new phone. Remember last week, my phone was tripping, so I had to go on my computer. But this week, the new phone has come in, and hopefully you can hear me and we won't have no issues like we did last week. So, how's everybody doing? How are you on this Thursday evening? It is nice here in Michigan for a change. It's raining today, but at least the weather ain't too crazy. So really super excited to talk to you guys today. Good evening. Hey, Judy. Hello, Danita. Hey, Jody. Rika is here. My nephew Bryce is here. Hey, Ebony. How are you, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl? And I am getting all kind of weird notifications right now, but hey, Erica Hall. Hello, Kim. Let's see who else. Hey, Veronica. Who else do we have joining us tonight? Lisa, what's up, beautiful? Hello, Audrey. Hello, Vakia. Hey, Beverly. Nika, what's going on? Hello, Linda. Bryce says, I have arrived. Bryce, the sales guy. So for those of you who talk to Bryce, he is on tonight. So everybody say hey to Bryce. Hey, Kathy. What's up, LaDon? OG from the D? Absolutely. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, by the way, if you're a newbie, make sure that you let us know that you are new to our fold. We are so thrilled and happy to have you here. Make sure you say what's up. If you're an OG, you know what to do. Rep your set. Let them know who you be. Let them know where you come from, your city, your town. You know, black folks love to shout out where they're from. So make sure that you shout it out. So, yes, Bryce's waves are everything. Bryce is all about his waves, y'all. He has actually been using Naturalicious to get his wave. So he's on a wave journey. And so he's been documenting his waves right now. So if you have been on the Instagram page or maybe one of the Facebook pages, you may have actually seen Bryce and his waves. And yes, Rama, you did make it, girl. You made it live tonight. What's up? Hey, Linda, thank you for sharing. Hello, Lillian. If you have not shared this live, make sure you share so that we can get everybody up in here. I do want to thank you guys so much for all the love and outpouring of support that you guys showed us after I made the video last weekend about the first responder email. We have just been floored by the positivity and the love. You guys know I'm all about positivity. So when like the negative stuff comes to me, it's like, whoa, like back up, like no, not over here, not having it, And so, I came online and, I made the video and I shared it with you guys. I also shared it through email for those who were not able to see it live at the time. And we're just really amazed at how much love you guys gave us about our desire to help first responders. And so for those of you who are like, what the heck is she talking about? We basically put out a call for first responders, i.e. people who are essentially risking their lives to help save everyone else's during coronavirus and COVID-19 that's happening right now. We got some backlash from some folks who were kind of being a little petty and upset because they didn't necessarily qualify as a first responder, but we can only help so many people. And so the thing was, no one really knew what we were even giving away, if anything. They didn't know if it was a discount. They didn't know if it was free product. They didn't really know what it was. They just knew it was something, and they didn't want to be left out. And so I kind of got online and was like, hey, this is not cool. These people, you guys are completely out of pocket. You know, we're trying to do good, and you're giving us a hard time about it. And the nation just came and showed up and just poured love into us and made us feel so much better. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate you guys. Now, you might be wondering, well, what is it that she was even going to do? So I'm going to tell you, initially, when we first started getting the backlash, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. Forget it. It's over. They ruined it. It's done. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And so many of you guys contacted me, some of you DM'd me, some of you posted in the nation, some of you emailed us and was like, don't let the, even my sister, she was like, you know what, don't let the devil take away what God put into your heart. And so many of you guys had that same sentiment. And she was like, that's what he wants you to do. That's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to be deterred from doing good. He wants to block you from being a blessing to other people. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And so I decided that, we're going to do it anyway. Okay, so what we were going to do, and what we're still going to do, is that starting tomorrow, for every order over $75, we are donating. We are not only giving you free shipping, but we're also donating a deluxe travel kit and a hand sanitizer to a first responder. Now, why did we choose to, and that's why we had the call. We needed people's names and addresses so we could send it to them. And the really cool thing is that we are donating it in your name. So let's say, for instance, Andrea decides that she needs some products, so she makes a purchase of $75. And let's say Kim is a first responder. So we will donate the deluxe travel kit to Kim in Andrea's name. Got it? So basically you will be donating to the first responder. All right. And we'll put your name in the order, and they will know exactly who it came from and all of that. So for every order over $75, starting tomorrow through, I think, the 22nd, we will donate a deluxe travel kit and a hand sanitizer to a first responder in your name. So that was what we were going to do. And that's why we had the call, because again, we needed people's names and addresses so we could know who to send things to. And so we're really, really excited about that. Now, why did we choose deluxe travel kits? We chose deluxe travel kits because first responders tend to be, they're out in the field. They're out, they're running around, they're trying to save people's lives. They don't have a whole lot of time. And LaDawn knows, because I think LaDawn is a first responder, right? So, they're always out and about, and they just don't have a whole lot of time for themselves right now. And so we know that hair care products may not necessarily be essential to life, but they are essential to our lifestyle, right? And so when you show up, and I'm always talking about this, when you show up as your best self, you are able to pour from a full cup. It's extremely hard to pour from an empty cup. And so we know that as women, our hair is our crowning glory. So if you are, yeah, exactly, Anna, it's no frills for them. So if you are a first responder and you're at the hospital all day long and you're trying to save lives, and you may be looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling like, oh my gosh, I look a mess, I feel a mess, I just need a break. Our deluxe travel kits are portable. They travel very nicely. They come with a really cute bag, canvas reusable bag that you can carry all your items in, and it'll come with a hand sanitizer too. So no matter where these first responders are, they will be able to get back to at least feeling great about how they look, so that they can continue to help the rest of us and feel good about themselves in the process. And so that's why we chose the deluxe travel kits, because it can carry along with them. It's kind of hard to carry around a 16-ounce jar of products and be able to, wash your hair at the hospital if that's what you need to do. But with the deluxe travel kits, you can. And so that's why we chose the travel kits. We're really, really excited about it. And we're really excited that you guys want to be a part of it. So thank you again for pouring that positivity back into us, because our balloon was a little bit deflated. I'm not even going to lie. And we were just like, you know what? Forget it. We're not doing this ever again in life. But again, you guys let us know that, the haters will not win. And I love you guys so much for that. So I'll remind you tomorrow, but just know that starting tomorrow, every order over $75, we will donate a deluxe travel kit in your name to a first responder. Okay? All right. So let's get into the topic for tonight. The topic for tonight is how to get rid of those knots at the ends of your hair for good. Now, I asked you guys in the nation, what did you want my topic to be today? Because again, I cover every topic under the sun, but we got some new people here who may not, may not have seen previous RHRs. And for those of you who have seen them, you guys probably need a refresher too. It's okay. All right. So, let me back up. Ebony, that is from tomorrow until the 22nd of May. So for the 15th through the 22nd, we'll do the donations to the first responders in your name. Okay. And so I also saw that Ashanti had asked, what is, I think she said, how often should you be combing out your hair? Which is very much related to the fairy knots, aka the hair knots. So someone else asked about how to remove hair knots. She asked specifically about how often to be combing out your hair. So I was like, you know what? This is a topic that we need to cover, and we need to make sure that everybody's on the same page. All right. So since this is a topic that everyone is wondering about, and I know y'all hate the knots. I know y'all hate it because you know how it is. You go to do your hair, you got those knots at the end, and you got to do one of two things. You either got to rip it out, which is horrible, and you can almost like hear like your hair like tearing when you rip it out, you know what I mean? Or you have to cut it out, which then if you cut it out, now you might have uneven hair, and it's just a whole mess. All right, so the goal is to eliminate these in the first place. And if you have not shared this live yet, please make sure that you press the share button, because sharing is caring. All right, so how to get rid of these knots. There's a few things, first of all. The first thing is that in order to truly get rid of the knots for good, you have to get rid of the split ends. Now, a little bit of a lesson. Every single strand of hair on your head goes through a life cycle. And at the end of that life cycle, your hair will do one or two or maybe both things. It will either split at the ends or it will shed out. This is why I always tell you guys that shedding is not bad. It's actually necessary, and it's actually just par for the course when you have hair. Everyone's hair, I don't care what texture your hair is, what color your skin is, everybody's hair sheds on average 100 hairs a day. So if we compound that over the course of the amount of time it's been since you last detangled your hair, let's say you're washing your hair on average every 7 to 10 days, like we always tell you to do. Let's say it's been 7 days. 7 times 100 hairs a day is on average about 100 hairs that you can, on average about 700 hairs that you can expect to come out in your comb, right? If they haven't already fallen out. This is normal shedding. This is nothing to be freaking out about. Let's assume you haven't washed your hair in a month. That's 30 days. 100 hairs a day times 30 days is 3,000 hairs. So obviously the more time you go in between washing, the more natural shedding that you're going to have. Okay, so this is, again, natural, normal. You obviously shouldn't be going 30 days without washing your hair, but assuming that it's been a while, you're going to see more hair. So I see sometimes you guys are posting on the internet, you guys are like, oh my gosh, is this a lot of hair? Well, it kind of depends. When's the last time you detangled your hair? Did you detangle your hair 2 days ago? Or did you detangle your hair 2 months ago? You know, so it's all relative to how often it's been, how frequently you are washing your hair and detangling your hair. All right. We can get back into detangling another day. That's a whole nother lesson in itself. But I just kind of want to set the stage to make sure that you're aware that natural shedding is normal. This is not something you should be too concerned with. Now, of course, if it's been a week and you've got like a whole clump of hair in your hand, that's concerning. But if it's been, a month, 6 weeks or what have you, and you haven't washed your hair or detangled it in a while, that's not a big deal. All right. So again, our hair, hey, Jacqueline. So again, our hair does one or two things. It either sheds out naturally, or it will split at the ends, or it will do both. All right. Now, if it doesn't shed out, it's going to split at the end, and now you got split ends. Now you can also get split ends from a few other things that you might be doing. One, you might not be moisturizing your hair enough, which leads to which leads to dryness. And dryness leads to brittleness, breakage, shedding, again, split ends, all the things that we don't like, okay? You may also be too rough on your hair. You might be manipulating your hair way too much. I know we love to touch our hair, especially when we can feel that nice little curl pattern, that texture. We love having our hands in our hair. I call it hand in hair syndrome. And it's normal, but manipulating your hair constantly is going to potentially cause you to have split ends. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that I know our hair looks like it's strong and like it can take a beating and it's resilient against all these different things. But little known fact is that our hair is actually one of the most fragile types of hair on the planet. It requires a lot of love. It requires a lot of moisture and hydration on a consistent basis in order to prevent it from drying out and thus causing breakage, shedding, split ends, all that kind of stuff. All right. Now, I hope let me know if I'm moving too fast for y'all. Hey, Ashley, let me know if I'm moving too fast for y'all because I want to make sure y'all get this, okay? Now, when it comes to the split ends, imagine your hair being curly, okay? When that end splits, it doesn't just split straight. It splits and then it curls up, okay? When that end splits, a lot of times that's what's causing the knots, okay? Because it's splitting and it's curling up around itself. Y'all following me? And so when you have those knots, that's a lot of times what's causing it. So you really need to trim your ends. Now, if you were a part of the Repair Your Hair Challenge, and I know we got some Repair Your Hair Challenge alumni up in here. If you are here, make sure that you shout out and say MM. Let them know you're now in the mastermind, and that you took the Repair Your Hair Challenge. Some of those people, or almost everybody in the Repair Your Hair Challenge, we actually trimmed our hair together live. And some of them had not actually trimmed their hair ever. Some of them had not trimmed their hair in years. Some had not trimmed it in months. And so trimming your ends will get rid of those fairy knots super duper quickly. It will eliminate them right away. Okay? Now, you may be a little apprehensive to trim your ends, but I'm here to tell you, if you don't trim your ends, what's going to happen is that split end will end up traveling up the hair shaft over time. And instead of trimming off, let's say, this much hair, let's say this is a hair strand, instead of trimming off just the tip, now once you finally do get around to trimming your hair, now you got to trim off to down here. You have to trim off more hair because you didn't get it in the first place. So if you can trim your own hair, actually during this time when we are in quarantine, you probably do have to trim it yourself, because you may not be able to go to a salon. But again, we will be doing the Repair Your Hair Challenge again in July, and we will be covering that again for those people who want to join the Repair Your Hair Challenge. You can get on the waiting list. I think Rika is live. She can probably post the link if you want to get on the challenge waiting list, okay? Now, I know, Lisa, so many people have never trimmed their hair themselves. First time I ever trimmed my hair, I had never trimmed my hair myself either. But one thing I can tell you is that when you do trim your own hair, you're a little bit more discerning. Sometimes when we go to the salons, no shade at all to the stylist, because of course y'all know I have a salon myself, so I love my stylist. But sometimes some stylists get a little bit scissor happy. You know, they get a little scissor happy and they cut off a little bit too much. You ask for a trim and you end up with a haircut. And you're like, this ain't what I signed up for. I really just wanted a little bit, and now my hair went from here to here. That's not what I signed up for, right? And so when you're trimming your own hair, you're a little bit more discerning about how much you cut off versus how much you don't. And so we go through it together to show you in the Repair Your Hair Challenge exactly how to trim your own hair. And trust me, it is so easy. The people who were in the challenge were so scared before they did it, and afterward they're like, oh, this is nothing. If I'm lying, y'all, that were in the challenge, let me know, because I swear they were all like, oh, this isn't so bad, and now they know how to trim their own hair. So that's the first thing that you have to do. You have to trim off your split ends in order to truly eliminate the fairy knots. Now, once you trim them off, the next goal is to eliminate them from happening again in the first place. So what do? We have to ensure that our hair is highly moisturized and that it has slippage. And so a way to ensure the slippage is happening on a consistent basis so that it doesn't, when it splits, it doesn't curl up around itself and then form knots that we have to either rip out or cut out. We have to do hot oil treatments. How to do a hot oil treatment. If you're using the Naturalicious system, you can use step 3. This is all you need for your hot oil treatment. You literally take the oil, put it into a cup of warm water, allow the water to heat up the oil, and then after washing your hair, you're going to put this oil onto your hair. Make sure you fully coat the ends, and then put a plastic shower cap on, chill out for 20 minutes, take it off, rinse it out. That's all you got to do. Directions for how to do that are actually on our website on the step 3 product page, by the way, if you forgot what I said. Just go to the website, search step 3, and look in the how to use directions. It shows you everything on how to do a hot oil treatment. But hot oil treatments, consistent hot oil treatments, will keep your hair from knotting up. Now, Megan says her hair eats up oil or grease. Megan, my question to you is, are you putting oil and grease on your hair directly, or are you putting something on your hair first? So let me know, and then I'll come back to you. All right. Okay, so hot oil treatments, let me tell you why hot oil treatments are different than putting regular oil on your hair. Krista has a good question. How often should you do hot oil treatments? You should really do them every time you wash your hair, truly. At minimum, you should do them once a month. But to have optimal results, you should do them every time you wash your hair, which should be every 7 to 10 days, ideally. Okay. Now, the difference in doing a hot oil treatment versus just putting regular oil on hair is vastly different. First of all, most oils, excluding a few like coconut oil, but you shouldn't be doing a coconut oil. You shouldn't be doing hot oil treatment with coconut oil anyway. But most oils do not have the ability to penetrate your hair shaft, right? So anytime you put an oil on your hair, usually it is just sitting on your hair because oils lock in whatever they are on top of. I'll tell you in a minute, Evelette. Oils lock in whatever they're on top of. So if you put oil on top of your dry hair, you're going to lock in dryness. If you put oil on top of your moisturized hair, you're going to lock in moisture, right? So a lot of times when people say, well, oil makes my hair dry or oil doesn't penetrate my hair very well, that's because it can't. That's not, the properties of oil don't allow it to do that. It's not supposed to, right? It's supposed to lock in. Most times, unfortunately, a lot of times we're doing what we think is the right thing, and it is the right thing, but we're doing it in the wrong order. And that's usually what happens with oil. So a lot of times people are putting oil directly on their hair right after washing it or just, during the regular work week, and they're putting oil on their hair and they're not seeing their hair being hydrated. They're not seeing their hair retain moisture, retain length, all that kind of stuff. And that's because oils are great when they're used like they should be used, which is to be put on top of hair that has already been moisturized, right? So when you put a normal oil, like if I just put this on my hair right now and I haven't moisturized my hair at all beforehand, it's just going to sit on top of my head and my hair is going to be dry. However, when you do a hot oil treatment, what you're doing is actually opening up the hair shaft so that the oil can actually get inside the hair and truly penetrate it. The heat from the oil and the heat that you're using with the plastic cap on top of your head allows the hair shaft to open up like it cannot normally do in a normal room temperature environment. So it actually opens up the hair shaft. It gets the oil inside. Think of it as like lubricant for the like inside core of your hair. And it gets inside that hair and hydrates it from the inside out. Now, at no other point can most oils get into your hair like that. Otherwise, they're just sitting on top of your hair. Of course, you aren't going to do a hot oil treatment every single day. So generally, when you're using an oil, it's just going to lock in whatever's on top of. That's why most people call oil a sealant, right? True experts will call it a sealant because it's sealing in what is on top of, unless it's being used as a hot oil treatment. And this is, excuse me, and this is why you need to do hot oil treatments every time you wash your hair. Because the more you do it, the more consistent that you are with it, the more lubrication that your hair is getting on the inside, the less likely it is to curl up and form a knot that you have to rip out or cut out yourself. Does that make sense, everybody? Megan says her hair grows a certain length and stops growing. The thing is, Megan, that's a really good point, and I love that you said that because this is one of my favorite things to talk about. It's not really what we're talking about today, but I'm going to address it because there may be other people on here who have a similar sort of issue. So our hair is always growing. Always, always, always from our scalp. Unless you have a scalp condition like alopecia or something like that, our hair is always growing from our scalp. And so when people say, well, how do I get my hair to grow? The question really isn't how do I get my hair to grow? The question really is, how do I retain my length? Because what's happening is that your hair is growing and it's breaking as fast as it's growing. So you're not seeing the length retention, and that's the issue, right? So shift your focus from how do I grow my hair from my scalp? Because it's growing anyway, right? It's, on average, everyone's hair grows on average 1/2 inch per month. Some people grows a little bit faster, some grow a little bit slower, but on average, that's how fast it grows, right? So in the course of a year, if you have no hair breakage, you'll have 6 inches on average in a year. But what's usually happening with us, with people who have hair like ours, is that our hair is breaking as fast as it's growing. Remember I said earlier that our hair is the most fragile type of hair. I know it looks like it can take a beating. I know it looks like it can take a whole lot of stuff, but it can't, right? And so we have to be consistently hydrating it. You should be moisturizing your hair every single day at minimum on average. Really, truly, in order to prevent your hair from breaking. Lack of moisture is the #1 cause of every issue that you suffer with. Megan says, I don't understand. I eat clean. I give up. We're not talking about eating right now. We're talking about topical moisturizing your hair. You have to use a moisturizer on your hair, right? Eating clean is great, right? But are you drinking 8 cups of water a day at least every day? Are you eating green leafy vegetables? And everybody who was in the Repair Your Hair Challenge, they've heard all this stuff before. So this is exactly what we actually start out with in the challenge. So they know. Are you drinking 8 cups of water a day? Are you eating green leafy vegetables? Because those are full of iron and potassium and calcium. And those will help to cause your hair to be more resistant to breakage. And then on top of that, you've got to do your part by making sure that you're moisturizing every day. Kim says she moisturizes every other day. You should be moisturizing your hair every day, because what you want to do is you want to prevent dryness. By the time your hair feels dry to you, it's already been dry at the core. Everything that happens with your hair actually starts from the inside out. So by the time you see or feel the dryness, it's already been dry. So your goal is to be preventative instead of reactive. So if you're only moisturizing it when it starts to feel dry, you're kind of already like too late, you know what I mean? So you're like kind of playing catch up. So you have to be moisturizing it daily in order to prevent it from being dry. If you have a protective style, you can use the Heavenly Hydration Grapeseed Hair Mist to moisturize your hair in lieu of a cream-based moisturizer. All right? So Pat says she moisturizes twice a day. Yeah, and Pat was in the Repair Your Hair Challenge. So some people have to moisturize multiple times a day. I know for the first year, me being natural, I had to moisturize twice a day because my hair was so dry. And we also just did a porosity test in the mastermind for those people who graduated from the Repair Your Hair Challenge and they stayed on. We just did a porosity test. So now we're able to tell exactly what types of, which parts of our hair require more moisture and which ones may need less moisture. Delitha says, how do I moisturize my hair without wetting your hair? You moisturize it with a moisturizer, like step 2. If you're using the Naturalicious system, you just put the cream on your hair. Okay. All right. So I want to get back to the topic, which is the oil. I don't want to get off too much of a tangent and then forget where I was. All right. So first we talked about making sure that you are doing hot oil treatments. You should be doing those every time you wash your hair, which should be about once a week on average. Okay. The second thing is that we talked about not trimming. So you have to trim those ends off first if you want to prevent them, if you want to get rid of them, because otherwise you're just going to be playing catch up all the time. You know how it is when you go and let's say you get a trim at a salon and they cut off a little bit, but not all the split ends. And the next time you go, you just got to get a cut off again. And it's like you're always just cutting and cutting and cutting. If you just cut them off in the first place, you're done. You don't have to worry about it. All right. Because the ends split at the bottom of the hair. So if you don't cut them all off and you just trim a little bit, well, guess what? That split end's still there and it's still traveling up the hair shaft. So you're still going to end up cutting off more if you delay the cut than if you just go ahead and cut them off in the first place. All right. And the next thing is not detangling. So when we detangle our hair, we should be detangling our hair every single time we wash our hair as well. Ideally with a wide tooth comb, or some people like the detangling brushes. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the detangling brushes, but if you like it, I love it, right? Whatever you need to do, just make sure it's not a small tooth comb. Some people also like to detangle with their fingers. I actually don't think the fingers do as good of a job as a comb or a detangling brush. But again, if you like it, I love it. As long as you're detangling, that's what matters. Here's what happens when you don't detangle. Remember I told you that every single person's hair will shed every single day. This is normal, okay? Because we have naturally curly hair, what happens is that hair doesn't have the ability to always fall out to the ground like it does with people whose hair is naturally straight, right? So if you have naturally straight hair, your hair is just going to kind of slide out and slide down when it sheds. But those of us with naturally curly hair, that doesn't happen for us. And so the hair oftentimes will actually get caught up in our good hair that has not shed. And so what it will do is it will eventually wrap itself around your good hair, causing your good hair to then split and break, right? Because it'll kind of get a strong hold because it's shed out. It'll get a strong hold into the good hair. And now your good hair is now breaking because you didn't detangle your hair. So you have to detangle your hair. And this is one of the main points of detangling. And I think when it comes to natural hair, a lot of times we just know to do stuff because the blog said to do it, or because we hear everyone do it, or we hear everyone talk about it. But what I like to do is I like to actually give you the reasons why we do things, because it helps you understand it. It also helps you to retain that knowledge better, when you can really understand why you're doing something and you don't feel like you're just doing something for the sake of doing it. Which is part of the reason why most people don't do hot oil treatments and most people don't do deep conditionings on a regular basis, because they don't really know why they're doing it. They feel like it's more like a luxury as opposed to necessity, because they don't really know why. And so with Real Hair Revelations, my goal is to always tell you the why behind things, like the science behind it, so that it actually makes sense for you and you feel like you're not just wasting your time pulling at straws trying to hope something works for you. All right. So with detangling, it's extremely important because your shed hair will get caught up in your good hair that has not shed, causing it to split or break or what have you, thus causing more hair knots. And then not only do they sometimes shed out, sometimes not only do they wrap themselves around your good hair, but when they do that wrapping thing, that's a lot of times, if you can just imagine hair wrapping itself around, that's a lot of times how the knots get formed as well, because we're not detangling enough. So those are the 3 things that you really need to do in order to eliminate the knots. Now, let's do this in order. The first thing you want to do is trim your ends. Don't be scared. You have to do it. Don't be freaked out. It's not a big deal. All right. If you're truly trimming your ends, you shouldn't really notice a big difference in the before and the after. This is not a haircut. This is a trimming, literally a dusting of the ends in order to remove the split ends, okay? Now, after you've done that, you want to immediately start to do your hot oil treatments once a week or every time you wash your hair, okay? If you are someone who washes their hair multiple times a week, you don't need to do this multiple times a week. You can do this once a week. But at the very bare minimum, once a month, you should be doing this. However often you decide to do it, just make sure you're consistent with it. Everything rides on your consistency. I always tell you guys, 50% of how your hair looks has to do with how well or not so well you have been caring for it. Have you been doing those deep conditionings? Have you been doing those hot oil treatments? Have you been doing your trims? Have you been rough handling your hair? Have you been wearing protective styles? Like all these different things that we have to think about. Have you been doing these things? Have you not been doing these things? All right. So that's 50. That's the majority of how your hair looks is reliant upon you. I know we all have this pie in the sky idea that we're supposed to be able to do whatever we want to our hair and go and buy a miracle product in a jar because a blog said it was great and it's supposed to solve all of our issues. But you guys know I always talk about diet and exercise. So you know that if you buy a gym membership and you go to the gym on day 1, you are not expecting to lose 20 pounds. That's not how this works, right? You have to put in some work because, you have to put in some work so that you can see the results that you want, right? So it's the same thing with your hair. Like, you can have the gym membership all day and you can actually go to the gym and work out all day. But if you're still eating junk food, you're not going to see the gains that you want to see. Same thing with your hair. You can have the best products in the world, but if you're not doing your part, if you're not doing those hot oil treatments, deep conditionings, keeping your ends trimmed, if you're not sleeping on a satin pillowcase or a satin bonnet at night, if you're not doing your part, none of it's going to make any difference. So 50%, literally half of your hair's performance is dependent upon you. All right. And so that is the big part. The second 25% is, of course, your products, the ingredients that are in them. So that is a big part, but not as big as the other stuff and your consistency. And then the last part is your technique. You can have the best bomb products that Jesus himself made with his own hands. You can have the greatest regimen that you created for yourself. But if you try and do a twist out and your twist don't twist right, you don't twist them right, your hair gonna look raggedy. This is how it's gonna be, and so the technique that you have is super important as well. So all these things we talk about in the Repair Your Hair Challenge, and they learn all these things. Like the before and afters are crazy. I cannot even wait to show you guys these pictures of these women and how far they came in 15 days. But I just want to make sure that you are aware that the product itself is not your sole fixer-upper. It's not. The majority of it has to do with what you're doing. So the things that I mentioned, trimming your ends, doing your hot oil treatments, and detangling on a regular basis, that's all dependent on you. If you want to get rid of those knots. And the one secret that most people don't know is the hot oil treatment. So if you do that and you do the other two that I talked about, you won't have to worry about hair knots anymore. I haven't had a hair knot in years. But that's because I'm consistently doing the things that I should be doing for my hair. Now, when I don't do the things I should be doing for my hair, because I have my lazy moments. I think we all have lazy natural moments. When I have my lazy moments, I definitely see a difference in how my hair looks and performs because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. All right. You're so welcome, Teresa. Now, Yvette. I think Yvette asked what type of oil she should be using. So Yvette, I know that Yvette uses Naturalicious. So Yvette, you can use step 3 for your hot oil treatment. And actually the directions to do the hot oil treatment are on the bottle. And they're also on our website, but they're on the bottle itself. Okay. But you can use this. Now, this particular oil has a proprietary oil blend that includes sweet almond oil. And some of it is our Spanish almond regrowth oil. So we kind of put that in there to help with your hair growth. Also, extra virgin olive oil that we get directly from Italy, and also safflower oil. And so we mix those and we do some special stuff to it in order to have a oil blend that will do the lubrication for your hair from the inside out, but not leave your hair greasy. So if you're going to do a hot oil treatment on your own, you want to try and use an oil that's not going to be too thick and one that's not too thin. And so the reason that we chose the oils that we did is because they are a happy balance of all of that. If you're going to do it on your own, you don't want to do things like castor oil or vitamin E. They're far too thick. Your hair will be very, very sticky and like gummy, and you don't want that. And then you also don't want to do something that's super, super light by itself, such as like jojoba oil, because it's not thick enough to, it'll do a decent job, but not as good of a job as a oil that is a bit thicker. So if you don't want to have to go through like the process of trying to figure out which viscosity of the oil is going to be right for you, you can just get step 3 because we've already blended it together for you perfectly. All right. Yes, you're welcome, my dear. You're welcome. I thought I saw another question. Let me see. Tawana says, hot oil treatment is life for her hair. Yes, and Tawana's hair be looking good. Good, good, good. Megan says, how can I get my hair to be thicker? So there's a couple things you can do, Megan. Well, first of all, it will be helpful to know if you have any hair or scalp issues, first of all. I don't know if you have any, or if your hair is just naturally thin. Has it been thin all your life? Or is it just more thin as you've, from when you were little or a young girl to as an adult? So let me know that. But you can also use our Spanish almond regrowth oil. So our Spanish almond regrowth oil is an oil that has phenomenal, amazing results for people. The thing is that you want to use it twice a day. Again, consistency. If you're not consistent, it ain't gonna work, right? But if you're consistent, it will work. Now, you have to use it twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, and you put it on wherever your hair has slow growth or thinning. So if you have thinning all over your hair, Megan, then you can use it all over your head. But some people have thinning only at their roots or maybe in the center of their head or back here in that kitchen area. I don't even know if we still call it the kitchen. But when I was little, everybody called it the kitchen. I don't even know why, because it makes no sense that this is called the kitchen, the back of your head. Does anybody know why they called it the kitchen? Anyway, so wherever you have thinning or slow growth. So I know some folks will have thinning in like the center or the crown of their hair. So you will put it just there. And this is to go directly onto your scalp. This is not an oil for your hair. Now, step 3 is an oil for your hair directly, like your hair. Okay. But the Spanish almond regrowth oil is directly for your scalp. And that's really just for people who have, again, thinning or slow growth in a certain area of their head. Hope that answers your question. Let's see. We still say kitchen, Krista. I don't know why we say kitchen. Kimberly says, at what point in the wash day process should a hot oil treatment be done? That's a great question. Okay. So you should only be doing treatments on hair that is clean. You never want to clean a hair that's clean and a scalp that is clean. You don't want to do this on hair or a scalp that has not been already washed. So the first step is going to be to wash your hair. Right, so you're going to wash your hair with whatever you're going to use. If you're using Naturalicious, you're going to use step 1. After you've done that, you're then going to, and I think I saw someone else ask what to use for deep conditioning. So this answer will answer both of your questions. So after you're done washing your hair with step 1, you can then put step 1 back on your hair because it's also a deep conditioning treatment. Not only is it a deep conditioning treatment, but it actually also removes toxins naturally and gently from your hair. So for those of you who are swimmers, it actually also removes chlorine. Bonus, you don't have to go buy a swimmer shampoo, right? But we also have other toxins that we don't even know about that are just in the environment floating around, and it's causing our hair to be dull, feel lifeless, sometimes be even frizzy and that sort of thing. So step one, put it back on your hair. That will be your deep conditioning treatment. And then Kimberly, right before you complete that, you want to put step 3 on top of that. So you're literally going to layer them. So step 1 on your hair for your deep conditioning, and then step 3 on top of that. So you're actually doing your deep conditioning and your hot oil treatment at the same time. This helps cut out at least 30 minutes in your wash day routine, because you don't have to do deep conditioning, wait 30 minutes, rinse that out, and then do the hot oil treatment. The beautiful thing about the Naturalicious products is that they obviously work together really, really well. They're a movement by themselves, but they're a force when they're together, you know? And so they work really great alone, but when they're put together, like that layering I just mentioned, it's like off the charts. So I suggest that's how I do mine. That's how I suggest everyone does. Everyone who uses Naturalicious, that's how I suggest that they do their treatments as well. And we actually just came out with a wash day tutorial. I will actually, I'll send that out in an email this week or sometime early next week. So if you're on our email list, make sure that you check your email. If you're not on our email list, make sure you get on the email list so that you can get that. And this is literally a step-by-step of how we suggest that you do wash day. And so it's about four parts, and it's, one part is this, and each video is like less than 15 minutes. So I'll send that out for you guys, because we just posted that last week and I don't think we sent it out yet. So make sure that we do, so that you can actually see Krista, I'm sorry, not Krista, Kimberly, and the other young lady. You guys can actually see it in action, how to do the hot oil treatment and the deep conditioning. All right. That should be helpful for you guys. Megan says her whole head is thin. Okay, so Megan, you can use the Spanish almond regrowth oil on your whole entire head. I would just part my hair and I would just put the product directly on my scalp and just kind of run your finger, from the front to the back to get it in there. And then you want to do a nice little scalp massage. Again, you want to do that twice a day. But again, I try to be completely transparent and honest with you guys. It's not going to work if you don't do it twice a day. It will not work. So I just, want to make sure that I always want people to have like an amazing experience with our products, but I also like to be transparent and, kind of manage expectations. So as long as you do the twice a day, you should see the results that you're looking for. Priscilla says, please clarify if we do step 1 or the hot oil treatment before we wash. You don't do anything before you wash, Priscilla. You wash first. Always wash first. It don't matter what kind of treatment it is. If it's an apple cider vinegar rinse, if it's a deep conditioning, if it's a hot oil treatment, if it's a protein treatment, if it's a trim, it don't matter. Whatever it is, you always are going to do this on a head of hair that has been freshly washed. All right, so that's where you start. So baseline, you can just easily remember, don't do anything until my hair's been washed. And then you proceed to do, you can wash with step 1, obviously, and then you proceed to do the deep conditioning and the hot oil treatment after you've washed, okay? And like I said, I'll send out that video series sometime in the next day or so. I may even try to send it out tomorrow so that you guys can have it. Let's see. Alita, oops, what did I just do? Y'all, I done turned the camera around somehow. I told you I just got this new phone. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. If you do a hot oil treatment, is it necessary to oil your hair every day? So, Alita, it's less important to oil your hair every day and more important to moisturize your hair every day. Y'all need to be in the Repair Your Hair Challenge. Clearly. I want all of y'all to join in July, because I'm telling you, it will solve all of your issues. But yes, you should do a hot oil treatment every week, like we talked about. You don't necessarily need to oil your hair every day. Oiling your hair is kind of that's like a thing of the past almost, right? So again, we've learned now that oils are sealants, so they lock in whatever they're on top of. So this is easy for you guys to remember, right? if an oil locks in whatever's on top of, if I put oil on my dry hair, it's going to lock in dryness. If I put oil on my moisturized hair, then it's going to lock in moisture. So your goal is always to focus on the moisture first. The moisture is what's going to stop the breakage, stop the brittleness, stop the splitting, stop the dryness, stop all that stuff that you hate. So the moisture is like everything. And then you can put an oil on top of that if you would like to lock it in longer. But the oil alone is not doing anything without the moisturizer. Okay? Does that make sense? Let's see. You are so welcome, you guys. You're welcome, welcome. I see lots of thanks. Tawana says, thank you, Gwen. Surprised my mom with Naturalicious kit for Mother's Day. Yay, what an awesome daughter. You include the regrowth oil and you can't wait to see the improvement. Awesome, Tawana. Mom is going to love you. Well, I'm sure she already loved you, but she's going to love you even more. Anna says, let me tell y'all, it's awesome to have that gallon. My first one, and I'm loving it. Anna has been talking about her gallon ever since she got it. Lisa says, just follow the system. It works. Yeah, the nice thing about our system is that you don't have to try and remember most of this stuff. Like all the products are labeled 1, 2, 3. So you just follow the steps, right? And all the directions are obviously on the bottles too. But like this one, this is step 3. So you can actually see, hopefully you can see that. It says 3, maybe not. Can you see that? It says 3 on it. So you just follow step 1. You do what step 1 say to do on the bottle. And then step 2, do what step 2 say to do on the jar. Step 3, follow what step 3 says on the bottle. It makes it really, really easy. So you don't have to try and remember all this. Because I feel like a lot of product lines, it just like, it's so much. And some brands have like so many products that makes it really hard to like figure out like, okay, what I'm supposed to do first? Or should I be using this line versus this line? Can I use them all together? Like, you know, what am I supposed to do? And so with ours, it's just real simple. It's very intentionally designed to be simple. 1, 2, 3, boom, done, out the door. Okay. You are welcome, Kimberly. Megan says, I never deep clean my hair. Well, you want to deep condition your hair. So I think that's what you mean. So you want to deep condition your hair. And that might be part of the challenge. But yes, you definitely want to be doing that. Do you add heat when you deep condition? You can, Alicia. You can add either with a heat cap or you can use a hooded dryer. You just want to make sure you have a plastic cap on top of your hair if you're going to use heat. Because otherwise the heat will dry your hair and you don't want the conditioner or the product to dry in your hair. You want to keep it moisturized and hydrated. So just make sure you have a plastic cap on and then you can use a heat cap or you can use a hooded dryer. Let's see. Jalen says, did I miss your answer to how often a protein treatment should be done? No, you ain't missed that because we didn't even talk about that. You should be doing protein treatments no more often than once a month. Once a month is all you need for a protein treatment. And protein treatments deserve their own video. So I'm not going to dig too deep into protein treatments. We have talked about it before, but like I said, I know we have a lot of new folks. So we can do another video on protein treatments, but that's a whole other video in and of itself. But yes, you should not be doing them more than once a month. But you should do them, but not more than once a month. Jacqueline says she's so excited her kit will arrive Saturday. Yay! Yes, Danita do be on it. We love Danita. Danita, thank you for always coming and scribing and making sure everybody's on the up and up. We so appreciate you. So appreciate you. Rachel says, when the new gallons going to be shipped, please? So if you remember, Rachel, we said that the pre-sale gallons were going to ship by the 25th. So some of them have already shipped. We're shipping them in order of receipt. So, you know, the ones that came in first are shipping, and then we're shipping them in the order that they came in. So they have started shipping. We will, fingers crossed, it looks like we're on track to have them all shipped out by the 25th. So you should have them very soon, because I think the 25th is like next week. So you should have them soon. Okay? Great question, though. Great question. Judy, how often can you do an apple cider vinegar rinse? Once a month. No more than once a month. That is actually in my book that is coming out very soon. We're working on finishing it up right now, but we have a whole chapter on apple cider vinegar rinses, whole chapter on protein treatments, all of that. So, yes, once a month, Judy. And you want to make sure you dilute it. Do not do an apple cider vinegar rinse straight up. You will mess up the pH balance of your hair. Our hair is slightly more alkaline than apple cider vinegar. And although our hair is generally acidic, but it's a little bit more alkaline than that. And because apple cider vinegar is so acidic, if you don't dilute it, it will cause dryness and brittleness if you don't dilute it. So make sure you dilute it 1 part of ACV to 6 parts of water. Okay? More on that in another RHR. Let's see. Let's see. What else did I miss? Did I miss any? I see lots of love and lots of comments. Thank you, guys. No, we're not scheduling at the salon yet, Terry, because we're still closed due to COVID-19, so we can't even open. Terry's asking about our salon. So we have a salon here in Michigan. We were literally open for a week, and then COVID-19 happened, and everything shut down. So we haven't opened. We haven't reopened to take appointments because of COVID-19. So once we are able to open, then we will be back making appointments available. So, let's see. So there are so many comments, you guys. I just want to, because sometimes y'all be sliding in my DMs like, why ain't you responding to my comment? I don't see all the questions and all the comments. I try to get to them all, but if I don't take it personal. It's just that I didn't see it. Okay, so just want to caveat that, because a couple times some people have been like, got kind of in their feelings because I didn't get to their question. But it's just, I don't see them all. So I try to get to them all. I really do. But if I don't, please don't take it personal. Okay. Priscilla says, I always think I should wash out step 2 from years of washing out conditioner. Well, Priscilla, step 2 is not a conditioner. Step 2 is a moisturizer, right? So step 1 is your conditioner wrapped into everything else. So it's your moisturizer. It's your shampoo. It's your conditioner. It's your deep conditioner. It's your detangler. And it also does the work of your leave-in conditioner. You're not going to leave it in, but it does the work of a leave-in. So you don't need an additional leave-in after that. So step 2 is your moisturizer. That's your styling cream. So think about it as your styling cream. Like you wouldn't wash out a twisting butter, right? So think about it like that. And so you don't need to wash out step 2 because it's not your conditioner at all. Your conditioner is already built into step 1. Okay. Pat says she's using the regrowth oil on her hair and scalp twice daily. Lisa says, it's so easy. I wish I had this in 2001 when I first went natural. So grateful for your loving brilliance, Gwen. Oh, you're so sweet. Lisa, you're going to make this brown skin girl blush. I'm going to be red all in the cheeks. Let's see. Who else? Are your products good for sister locks? Oh my gosh. Hi, Sydney. Yes. I have to get more pictures of people with sister locks because this is a question we get often. I was just talking to someone about this today. People always ask, can they use our products on locks? The answer is yes. We have so many people who use locks Lord, so many people who use our products on their locks, and we have some really great pictures, but I can get more. So if you are someone who has locks and you use our products, please send them to us because people like Sydney are always asking, can they use them? And the answer is a resounding yes, but we need more pictures. So yes, Sydney, you can. They work. You were using the exact same way. They're actually formulated to work for locks, for loose hair, transitioning hair, all of that. So yes, you can use our products on locks and they work really well for locks. Megan doesn't know what kind of deep conditioner to use. Megan, our step 1 is a deep conditioner. So all you gotta do is get step 1 and it has everything that you need for your hair in one product. Let's see. Judy, so once a month for the protein treatment and apple cider vinegar rinse. Correct. Can they be done together on wash day? They can, but most people do them on opposing days. I probably wouldn't do them on the same day too often. Normally people will like alternate them. So let's say 1 week they do the ACV and the next week they'll do the protein treatment and then they'll wait a month to do that same process again. So normally that's what happens. Yes, Rachel, a book. Guess the book is coming. Tell me where to get the book ASAP, says Bridget. Angela says, so happy for you on the book. So the book is ideally going to be ready by August, is my hope. August or September. That's my hope. Definitely by Christmas. But ideally, if all goes well, and like, you know how they always say, like, when you're making plans, God laughs. So if I have my way, it'll be ready by August or September. But definitely by Christmas time, it's time for you guys to gift to a friend. But fingers crossed, let's pray everything goes well and COVID-19 doesn't mess anything else up. And I hope to have it in August or September. So yes, that is coming. That is in the works right now. Rachel says, where are pre-orders for the book? We will probably start pre-orders for the book once we have it all edited. And we're like about a month and a half out from the time that the book releases. So if all goes well, that will be sometime around July. If all goes well. Ashanti, so a week is too long to go without detangling a curly fro. No, not at all, Ashanti. I detangle my hair once a week every time I wash my hair. So however often you wash your hair is how often you should be detangling your hair too. Now you don't need to brush it out. You do want to detangle it though, right? There's a difference. Like I think you always want to do it on a head of hair that is wet, at least damp, but ideally wet. If your hair is dry, you're setting your hair up to be, you can expect breakage and dryness if you are combing or detangling your hair when it's dry. Never, ever, ever, ever manipulate your hair like that on dry hair. Wet hair is much more pliable. It's less prone to breakage. It's much more resilient. So, because again, remember I told you, moisture is life to hair. I always talk about that. So, water is the most moisturizing thing you can ever put on your hair. Though water does evaporate, water is moisture for your hair. And so it makes your hair less prone to breakage, more resilient, more pliable. So when you are detangling your hair, Shanti, you want to make sure you do it on hair that is wet, ideally right after you wash your hair, and then you want to do it with a wide tooth comb or detangling brush or something like that. I will say the more tightly coiled your hair is if your hair is very, very tightly coiled, it's a better idea to use a wide tooth comb than a detangling brush. If you have maybe like a 4A type of hair, you might be able to get away with a detangling brush. And though the detangling brush might do a good job, it can also sometimes pull out hair that wasn't dead or hair that hadn't been shed. So that's why I prefer the wide tooth comb. Priscilla says, I think we confused step one because it's a new approach that we can use the same product to clean and condition. Possibly, very possibly. But once you get used to it, baby, you like, what have I been doing with my life all this time? I've been spending money on products I don't have to spend money on. I've been spending time on things I don't have to spend time on. It's like a whole game changer. But once you get used to it, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm never going back. But yes, you probably are right. It might be because it's a relatively new idea, especially not just that it's you can clean and condition, but that you can also detangle with it and you don't need an additional leave-in. That part usually trips people up like, wait a minute. It does work with leave-in, but I don't have to leave it in. I'm confused. So sometimes that messes people up a little bit. But again, once you get used to it, I'm pretty sure I can speak for most people who are here. Once you're in it and you got it, you're like, I'm never going back. Yes, Lisa, a book. Yes, Christina. Christina's right. ACV references are very, very helpful. I think I got it. I can't go that. Ashanti says, I think it is for my hair. I think I got it. I just can't go that long. So are you saying that you need to detangle your hair more often? And if you do, that's fine. That's not a bad thing if you need to detangle more than once a week. Sadara says, will you ever have a gallon step two? Sadara, the people in the mastermind will tell you that is a question they've been asking. Probably won't have a gallon because it will be extremely heavy. Very, very costly to ship. And I'm pretty sure y'all probably don't want to pay like $30 for shipping because that's about how much it would cost because it would be hella heavy. But we might try to do like a 32 ounce or something. We currently have a 16 ounce, so we do have a pretty large size, but people have been asking for a bigger size too. So we may try to do like a 32 ounce, maybe a limited time offer, kind of like we do for our gallons. So maybe we'll try to do that. But I really don't think we're going to be able to do a gallon of step 3. That would be a whole lot of products And like I said, a very high shipping cost. And then y'all will be mad at me, like, Gwen, why is it shipping $30? And I'm like, well, y'all wanted a gallon of step 3 or step 2, so you know. But we may try to do a 32 ounce for you guys. Nika, she's talking about the salons. Nika says at where she lives, they're allowed to go to salons, but with an appointment only. Oh yeah, in Michigan, all that's shut down. Ain't nothing going on at the salons here in Michigan. So, yeah, we're all closed. Diane says she just bought some products. She's going to return them tomorrow and place an order for Naturalicious, her first order. We appreciate you, Diane. Welcome to the family. Super excited to have you. Let us know how we can be of service to you. Rachel says, please spill the secrets on how your roots look so smooth, please. Rachel, this is the gel. That's all it is. It's just step 3. It's just the dramatic definition gel. You know what? I think I'm going to do a tutorial for y'all one day on how I do my top knots. I have like the laziest top knot routine. It's so lazy and simple. But one thing that I do with the gel is I take the dramatic definition gel and I put it directly on my edges. Like I'd almost like dab it on my edges. Like instead of like putting it on my hands and then trying to smooth it, I put it directly on my edges and then I brush it, and that helps it have that kind of smooth, sleek look. But yeah, I mean, if a tutorial on that will be helpful for you guys, so I can show you how I do my edges like that, let me know, and I'll be happy to pop on and show you guys that, because I do this. This is like my lazy go-to coronavirus do. But you know, yeah, my edges are pretty sleek, and it's just the gel. It's really step 2. I always put step 2 on my hair first. Always, 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 because that's the moisturizer. And then I do the gel after that. Megan says she wants to visit the salon when it opens. She's in Detroit. Sweet! Come see us, Megan. Yeah, as soon as we're able to open, we will be open. Trust me. Aletha, we would love to have you come the next time that you are here in town. Pat says, is regrowth okay on your hair? What do you mean, Pat? Let me know what you're asking. Angela says, I received your products yesterday. I was going to wash my hair on Saturday, but now I'm excited to wash my hair tonight. I have the towel and everything. Oh, perfect. You have the t-shirt towel. Great. She says, you are amazing. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Yes, there's Karen. Karen got the sister locks. Karen's sister locks are so beautiful. I'm so jealous of her sister locks. Karen was actually in the Repair Your Hair Challenge as well. And so she went through the entire challenge with her sister locks. And so her locks are gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. She did the whole thing. She even did the apple cider vinegar rinse. I think she did the protein treatment. She did all of it. And she has sister locks. So you can absolutely use our products on sister locks. And our whole routine that we suggest, you can use them on sister locks too. Natasha says, I will be ordering tomorrow. Looking forward to trying your products. Been naturally curly for 10 years. Once your salon is open, I will visit. Yes, we will. Y'all all come to the salon. We can't wait to see y'all at the salon. Cannot wait. It's going to be popping once we get back open. So I would love for you guys to come and see us. But yes, Natasha, is it Natasha or Natasha? I'm going to say Natasha because that's what I think it is. But if I'm wrong, let me know. Natasha, we appreciate you. Can't wait for you to get your order and join the Naturalicious family. So thank you so much. Pat says she wished she had known before she got rid of her locks. Oh, you can regrow them, Pat, if you wanted to. Ingrid says, Gwen, you are so patient. Thank you. You know, this is what I love to do. It's what I love to talk about. I can talk about hair all day long. So it never feels like a chore to me. And all y'all questions are things that I love because I literally love making sure that you guys have the right information so that you can show up as your best selves every day. You know, I feel like I've said this before. A lot of times companies, they just give you a product and say, you know, be well with yourself and hopefully it comes out right. And then you're just like, this didn't work for me. But, and a lot of it's because you've never really been taught what to do for your hair. You've just been given stuff, you know, given a product and hopefully fingers crossed it comes out right and you didn't waste your time and your money. But, it is really my joy to educate on hair and just see those light bulbs light up, which is why I did the Repair Your Hair Challenge, because, you know, we see people all the time say they hate their hair. And I'm like, girl, you don't hate your hair. You don't even know what your hair can do. If you had the tools and the education and the resources to really figure out what your hair needs and can do, you will absolutely love it. Because we're the only group of people that get to have long hair and short hair in the same day with no weave and no haircut. And when I say that, people always like laugh, but I'm dead serious. Like, we're the only ones. And so it's like, how can you not love that? How can you not love it? You know, and so we just need to be taught. And so we don't need more hair products. We need more education. And so that's what I'm here to do for y'all every single Thursday. So thank you, Ingrid. I'm glad that my patience is is helpful to you guys, because I really do care and I really do want you guys to get the best of everything, so you can see yourselves in the mirror and love what you see every day. Paula says, my daughter Gwen watching with my daughter Candace. Hey Candace! She says she loves her Mother's Day bundle. Yay! Paula's such an awesome mom for getting her daughters the Mother's Day bundle. Hey Candace, it's so nice to kind of sort of meet you through Paula. I've heard a lot about you. And happy belated Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to everybody actually out there. Let's see who else we got. Thank you, Christina. Thanks, Yvette. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Pat, say again about how often for eggs and ACV. For both of those, once a month, Pat. And actually, Pat was in the Repair Your Hair Challenge. So, Pat, the videos that we did during the challenge, they're still available to you. So you can go back and look at those videos if you need like a true refresher. But high level overarching idea is that it's once a month for both the protein treatment and for the ACV. Okay. Yay, thank you, Melissa. I'm excited. What should you use as a daily moisturizer, says Charlie? You should be using step 2 if you're using Naturalicious. I don't have a jar in here with me, but step 2 in the Naturalicious line is, your daily moisturizer. You can also use our Heavenly Hydration Grapeseed Hair Mist if you would like to use that. So you can use either one of those. But the cream, which is step 2, is going to give you more of a deeper level of moisture. The hair mist is more of a refresher. So it's like a spray version of a moisturizer. Think of it kind of almost like a leave-in conditioner. So step 2 is going to give you a deeper moisturizer. But if you need to like refresh your hair throughout the day, the hair mist is great for that. Diane says, I wet my hair every day. Love the water. Is it too much? No. That is a great question, because most people think that water is drying. Water is not drying. Water is life. Water is moisture. Water is everything. Ideally, you will be not just wetting your hair. And I'm not saying everyone has to wet their hair every day. But if, Diane, you want to wet your hair every day, you can totally do that. You just want to make sure that you also use a moisturizer that's going to combine water with really great moisture retaining ingredients, such as step 2 in the Naturalicious line. There probably are other brands that have, great moisturizers too. But if you do wet your hair every day, that's not a problem. Water is life. Think about your hair almost like a plant. Like a plant cannot thrive and grow without water. Your body cannot thrive and grow without water. Same thing for your hair. Your hair requires water in order to live. So water is great. So keep up the great work. Lisa says, my bank account thanks you, Gwen. Well, I'm so happy. So happy to hear that, Lisa. How often for a pre-poo? I don't pre-poo ever, Krista. But if you were going to pre-poo, you could pre-poo every time you wash your hair. There's nothing wrong with pre-pooing before. But if I were going to pre-poo, I would probably pre-poo with maybe coconut oil or something. But I don't pre-poo at all. But like I said, you could do it every time you wash your hair if you wanted to. Okay, Shanti, yeah, more often is fine. It's not a problem. Just make sure that you are, like I said, using a white tooth comb or a detangling brush or whatever preference you have. But it's okay to detangle more than once a week if you need to. LaDawn says her hair is so shiny after her ACV rinses. Y'all, I'm telling you, ACV rinses are everything. Dramatic definition gel is magic, says Lisa. It is. Okay, so you guys are telling me you do want a top knot tutorial. I can do that. Anna says, me too with the edges. Slick. Yes. Lisa said the Corona do. Yes, this is my Corona do, y'all. This is my, I need to look presentable, but I don't feel like doing a whole lot. Look. Take it from day to night. Yes, Hayes, we do have a salon. Yep, it's called the Naturalicious salon, actually. How do you grow 43 hair longer? What do you mean, Candace? I don't know what you mean by that. Yes, Hayes is, yeah, oh, Hayes is in Canton. Yeah. So we're on Canton Center Road. If you know where the 7-Eleven is, at the corner of Warren and Canton Center, we're like kind of sort of near that intersection. So if you're in Canton, you should know exactly where it is. Rochelle says, what's the name of your salon? It's called the Naturalicious Salon. That's the name of it. And it's in Canton, Michigan. So yeah, once we reopen back up, like I said, you guys are more than welcome to come and make an appointment. We have some awesome, amazing stylists. And yeah, can't wait to see y'all there. Mary, hey Mary, she says, I have sister locks and the products have been a lifesaver. I did my first apple cider vinegar rinse last weekend. Mary, you got to post some pictures. I need to see you with your sister locks. You have to show us. Post it in the nation. Candace says, how long is your hair? It's so pretty. Thank you, Candace. So my hair currently comes to about my bra strap in the back. My hair has always grown in layers, and I used to hate it when I was a kid, but actually now I love it because it has like almost like a natural shape to it. Whereas when I was younger, I couldn't stand it because it was always layered up. But in the back, it's about to my bra strap, and my hair is like when it's straight, when I straighten it. But when it's curly, in its curly state, it's about like right here when it's curly. But when I straighten it, it comes about to my bra strap. Lisa says, may have to take a road trip after all these stay-at-home orders finally lift. I know that's right. I got to get out the house. And Daya is here, the inner circle, mastermind. Hey, girl. Do you have any tips on growing hair? That's a whole other RHR, Candace. We could be here for days. So let me revisit that on a future RHR, okay? I will do that one for you though, because I know that's a big question everyone always has. Sheikah hopes I make a protein conditioner. She doesn't know if she can use eggs. She haven't tried them yet. Well, if you do choose to use the eggs, Sheikah, make sure that you use the egg yolk only, because the egg white removes moisture, the egg yolk adds moisture. So get rid of the white and just use the yolk, okay? What's your topic idea for next week, Lee? Let me know. Somebody said that they would love a Naturalicious mask. And it looks like Rika responded and said, we have ladies who use Naturalicious Step 1 as a face mask. They absolutely do. You can also use the Step 1 as a mask for your hair if you would like. Just make sure, again, that you cover your hair with a plastic cap so that it doesn't dry out. Okay, Lisa said she'll DM me. Hey, Joy. How are you? Dorothy says, would love a Naturalicious create a face mask. She's an OG. Yeah, so Dorothy, you can actually use Step 1 as a face mask. That a lot of people do. I know Kiki does it. I think Indea has done it. There's several people here who, Alicia has done it. They use it on a regular basis to, as a face mask. So you totally can use Step 1. Literally, Naturalicious is like your one-stop shop for all your beauty needs, okay? So use Step 1 as a face mask. Oh, she said face mask for the virus. Oh, so like a face mask that goes over your ears. I got you. Let's see. 16-ounce gel, says Rachel. Okay, well, look at that. Christina says, any thoughts about the Felicia Leatherwood brush? I have personally not used the Felicia Leatherwood brush, but I've heard great things about it. So I'm going to give it a kind of, what's the word I want to say? I'm going to give it a stamp of approval, though I haven't used it, because I know Felicia Leatherwood quite well. I trust her, and I've also heard really good things about it from other people. So I'm going to say it's probably okay to use. Did I miss a detangling session? We didn't do a detangling session, Nasubi. We did talk about it, but I didn't actually do it. I wish Gwen would create a mask for the virus. Is that possible? I actually talked to someone about a mask, like a Naturalicious branded mask. And the price I just felt was like it just didn't make sense. I felt like it was price gouging. You know, a lot of people are price gouging. And I just felt like they were price gouging for the price that I would have to end up charging for it. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. But if I could find it at a reasonable price, let me know if you guys would like a Naturalicious face mask, like a mask that's used for the virus with like the brand Naturalicious on it. And I can try and find somebody else. But the person I had reached out to, I was like, I don't know about that. I don't feel comfortable charging people that much. Rochelle used to live in Canada before she relocated to Nashville. LaDawn says she needs her first haircut. Okay, girl, well, come see us when the salon opens back up. I don't know how far. Oh, I'm pretty much at the end of the comments. I thought I had a whole lot left. All right. So I do see some people saying that the eggs are messy, but they're worth it. They are worth it. They can be kind of messy, but once you get used to it, it doesn't take me very long. I mean, it's not messy for me anymore. It was very messy in the beginning. But once you get used to it, and you kind of figure out your way. It's not so messy. Here's a tip though for making it less messy. And I know that Erica, I don't know if she's live right now. If she's not live, this is probably the only RHR that Erica has missed if she's not here with us right now. But one of the things that you can do is that you can actually make sure that your hair is wet thoroughly before you put the egg in your hair. And that will kind of help with the slippage and also kind of help you to prevent it being so messy for you. Sydney says, how do you know what type of hair you have? So Sydney, you can go to our website. We have a really great quiz. It's only 3 questions. It will take you less than a minute to take the quiz. And it literally is called Find Your Hair Type. So you take the quiz, 3 questions, done in less than a minute, and it will tell you everything you could probably ever want to know about your hair. And it will also give you some product suggestions. And it might even give you a discount code when you finish the quiz. Just saying. So take the quiz. Rika or someone else can post the link here for you to the quiz. But take the quiz and it'll tell you everything that you need about your hair so you can find your hair type. Okay? All right, you guys, don't forget that tomorrow, thank you so much, Danita. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget that tomorrow we are starting what we're giving away to the first responders. So for every order over $75, we are donating a deluxe travel kit and a hand sanitizer to first responders. All right, and we will donate it in your name. Yes, Anna, I will send out a reminder tomorrow about it for sure. All right, so again, for every order over $75, we will donate a deluxe travel kit to a first responder who is literally risking their life to save all of our lives and keep us safe. We will donate it in your name. So again, if Danita places the order and it's over $75 and Anna is the first responder, we will donate the deluxe travel kit to Danita in Anna's name. Okay, so Anna will essentially be gifting that to Danita. All right, you are so welcome, Christina. Thank you guys so much for joining. Again, I will send out I will send you guys an email, probably as well as text. So be on the lookout for a reminder for that tomorrow. And that will run from the 15th of this month, which is tomorrow, until the 22nd of May. All right. Love you too, I'll say Rika. Love you, Rika, but also love you, Nika. Have a great evening, everyone. Love you so much. Thanks for rocking with me tonight. I think we've been on for a little while, but I appreciate you sticking through it. And again, if you have any questions, I'll be here. Let me know what your topic ideas are for the next RHR. I always want to make sure that I am serving you guys and giving you the info that you need to make your hair its best ever. All right. Have a great evening. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.